Hello, hello. Durian here with Gardano Games. The Wildcard Cyclone Galaxy Cup recap continues into round 2 versus AkaGreymon. So AkaGreymon, I don't know what he's playing. We are of course playing our Mono Zero. We'll see if we can do any better than our games against Gankun. Hopefully draw a little bit better. Our hands against him were a little bit unfortunate. And if you don't want to get spoiled, you should watch it first. So the glare over there is crazy. So what I did is I played a level 1 speed type. It's doing nothing. Not what I wanted to play, but the rest of my hand, it feels pretty solid. I think I was able to flash it a little bit there. I was trying to get some POV content going, but I unfortunately forgot the tripod. So playing the scene, getting some things going. I really want to have the scene in this matchup because, like I mentioned, there's a lot of level 2s that will become 13,000, 14,000s when they have an arm type opponent. So this allows me to play a 1-2 double and compete with the Meteor Kaiju, especially in lane 2 there where we kind of expect a Trigron to come out. That's actually really, really important. So I decided to swap them. It's kind of like, I'll try to explain why I try to swap them, but basically 2 draws and I get to draw. So the reason I swap them is because I believe I have another power type, the strong Corona Zero in hand, and I'm expecting to level up to a triple in lane 1. So that means I could potentially leave the speed type open in lane 2 if I draw level 1. Then I can have the extra one, I can have the extra speed type there to play a strong Corona again and continue to draw while I kind of set up and stall. That, or or I confuse myself and I have another speed type, and so I'm expecting to play a triple in lane 2 and keep the power type open in lane 1. So lane 2 will be super safe. I don't get another draw. I can't fully remember my hand here, but that's kind of what's going through my head. And that's why I swapped them. The order actually does matter a little bit. All right. I'm expecting this is a really tricky turn because I'm expecting the Omega to come out on lane 1, which means I really want to tie that Omega with an ultimate 0, but I don't think I can win the game with my hand if I do that play, and I don't have any ways to boost myself up to a really high number. So I decided to swap here. The reason I decided that swap, and AkaGreymon's okay with it because we haven't revealed any information and I haven't made any choices, so also just like a learning thing. So the reason I do that swap is because I believe it's now a one that gets arm type up to 14,000. So I'm trying to contest that lead lane by playing an ultimate 0 and bumping it, like boost it and arm type up to 14,000. That way, if he plays like Trigon or something, I can really contest that. Or like he has to use a boost to get it going. So that is actually not at all the case. So I play the Ultraman Zero Triple Rare. That lets me do a power type boost and a speed type boost. And then, oh man, I can't remember what's going through my head at this one, to be honest. So I did choose, it is between this 10,000 0 and the 11,000 0 beyond for that third lane. And my thoughts were either that I can either tie lane 1 with the 11,000 one because I'll BP boost by setting Val's Nest to arm type to go to 11,000, and then speed type will power down the opponent to make it effectively 13. This one does a 12,000 because it's a 10,000 at a double. So it's not quite as good for maintaining lead, but I kind of figured if he has a Reginus or whatever, he's going to take lead anyway. AkaGreymon gets the Trigron off the Omega, which is exactly what I think he wanted, and is getting a level 2. So that's going to start building up to another triple for him probably. I'm hoping I'll keep on to my scene here, but I don't believe that's the case. Yeah, we go. Here comes an alien from AkaGreymon. That's going to make things a lot more difficult for me. So what I'm trying to do is I want to try to set up like a 19,000 in lane 1 ideally, and then I have lane 2 for at least one more turn. And so I need to figure out how to get at least one lane between lanes 3 and then lane 4. So let's see what I've got. I cannot quite remember. I do know I'm pretty sure I have an ultimate 0 here. So I'm going to try to set up a play. If I play ultimate 0 in lane 1, it's just going to tie. And I think the longer this game goes, the more likely I'm going to lose. So I'm just going to try to go for it here. We're going to go for an ultimate 0 in lane 1 and a level up in, sorry, in lane 4 and a level up in, oh, there you go. That's kind of what I was setting up for. Goofing up on my own thing. So I do the ultimate 0. That's going to be able to boost the 0 all the way up to 14. So beating the double Omega Meteor Kaiju in lane 2. So that's kind of why I set up this turn. The previous time I didn't play the 0 beyond there because I wanted to set up an ultimate 0 turn later that could let me beat that lane. So unfortunately my 11 wasn't good enough to beat lane 4. So we're at 2 lanes apiece and Valgeness comes out and is able to donk my lane 3 and get the win. So did our best there, but couldn't quite come close. So we go to game 2. Not the hottest start off for our 0 deck. This is a very, very difficult matchup though, because BP downs are extremely strong against 0, because you typically, unless you have ultimate 0 set up that BP grade ups your own units, you typically can't defend against it, the BP grade down. And it like basically gets rid of all your power. Like if you have a 19,000, then it's going to go down all the way to like 14,000 and you're just going to not be able to win that lane. So even if it's not a offensive tool that wins them the game, it can be a defensive thing that keeps them in one more turn, and then you've already used up all your 0 on play effects and you'll lose the game shortly after that. So that is what's so scary about the BP minus. So I think it's kind of like whoever rolls higher in this matchup. So let's try to skip around to game 2. All right, game 2, I'm choosing to lead. Again, I want my scenes if I have them. So I want to be able to play those. And what do we have here? Yep, another power type 5,000 for me. I'm kind of okay with this. Usually what this means is I've kept the hand with 1 draw, level 2. If I can draw 1 card with 0, I'm pretty happy about that. So AkaGreymon goes for that level 2. It is only a 5,000, so I managed to keep lead, and I'm able to play a scene, which I drew the next turn. And of course, we're going to go for the 0 classic double level up here. And I have at least 1 draw, so I'm trying to decide what I want. Oh, I don't even do it. What is going on with my play here? I'm trying to get a draw for sure. There we go. Speed type and a power type draw. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to keep lead, but I think it'll be okay with it. Just a single Trigon is not really what AkaGreymon wants to see there, especially with only a double Omega in the top. That means Valgeness is not online. This is something like you really have to be cognizant about going into like turns 3 and whatnot against Omega, is think about whether or not they can even activate Valgeness. Like I said, the BB decrease is so strong against this deck. That's like the main way out. And we're going to next turn, losing both lanes, but that doesn't mean we're out. Turn 3 finally happens. We lose our scene. Dang it, these Here Comes an Aliens keeps coming down. But I am trying to land around. I feel pretty comfortable here because I can just set a level 2, and then I'll get to see all of AkaGreymon's moves, and then make my big move. Make big moves. All right, we'll see what's going on. All right, there is a double coming out from AkaGreymon. So I'm trying to think, is this a turn where I want to live? Because it's a turn I could live, right? Or is it a turn I want to go for the kill? If I set up a kill using... Now, what I can do is I can use ultimate 0 in lane 2 to boost up lane 3 to a potential 17,000. And because I know Valgeness is not part of the equation here, there's not really many ways he can get out of that. Except for playing like a Recognize Armor double or basically a 2-3 double and then hitting a Rekiness. But the question here is like if he plays a 2-3 Rekiness here, he can go up to 18,000 in lane 1, and that might be trouble for me too. So I'm trying to figure out how to play around this setup essentially, because I don't have like a foolproof way to play around all of the options. And I think I actually mess up the ordering of this, and I'll explain why. So the lane 1 should be a power type. Oh no, a basic. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is what I did. Yeah, so I didn't really have a lot of options here, right? Ideally, I'd want like the power type in lane 1, which can be a power type that goes up to 19,000, so I for sure win that. But I just go for the pure level ups. What this means is I would be able to win all 3 lanes, and I kind of just need him to not hit a Rekiness or whatever. So he hits Rekiness, so he's able to go to the 18,000, which is actually that was the mill 4 and the level 2. So he hits the level 4. I'll go back a bit. I miscommentated. So this is discard 4 for this level 2 here, and then he's going to go for the Omega and winning all 3 lanes. He needs a Rekiness to get out of it. I kind of have to just gamble on it, and Valsness can't activate because no level 3s. And there we go. So kind of snuck a win out of that one. But that's sometimes what you got to do versus Omega. Try to set yourself up so that they have to hit certain setups or certain mills to win. So pretty close there. I mean, if he had just played a Rekiness in that first lane, even as a single, I wouldn't have been able to get the win at all. But I figured it would be okay because I'm trying to set myself up for like several lane wins that they'll just kind of win down the road. So I might as well just go for it, right? Even if the 17,000 doesn't beat the Omega right now, unless he levels up to a quad, then that lane will keep winning. So that was the thought process there. It's better just go for it while you can. And then let's get into game 3, the all-important game 3. Another 5,000 from AkaGreymon. This time I get my draws, which I am very happy about. It helps, really helps set up the hand. But it is a little bit unfortunate for AkaGreymon again, not having a triple Omega. But not having the triple Omega really hurts. I mean, it's doable, but it really hurts because you're kind of forced to blow a Rekiness ability activation on winning lane 1, where normally you might be able to tie it or just straight up win against a lot of matchups. So we'll see. With the draw 2, I'm pretty much guaranteed to have another double setup. So we'll see how AkaGreymon kind of approaches this. I think my play is pretty much set in stone at this point. It's either double draws or a draw and like an 11,000 in lane 2. All right, so AkaGreymon going for a 1 and a 1 level up. So you kind of expect a draw level 1 and just a triple rare Omega in this lane. So I'm got a little bit of an interesting game going on. I go for a 2-3 double just to get the power type for my draw. I'm just trying to get some more cards in hand. Both of us trying to get more cards in hand. Draw 2, return 1 for Omega, and then he'll probably do the milling for Trigon, but we'll get there when we get there. Now you'll notice again, this is a really tough spot, I think, for Omega because there is not a triple, no Valsness, and I know that, and I'm gonna try to take advantage of it. Okay, we do hit the Trigon, so he's gonna be able to help fix his hand a little bit. Oh, you didn't see that ultimate 0. No one knows that's in my hand. And a level 5 Rekiness, a level 5 Valsness, level 1 Omega, and going for the level 5 Rekiness. This tells me that there's a level 6 Rekiness in hand, so I'm gonna have to decide whether I want to go all in this next turn, or if like one Rekiness is just gonna like kind of donk me. Because if he plays a Rekiness and he gets the 18,000 in lane 1, it's gonna be really hard for me to compete, especially a 2-3. I've already played my power type in lane 2, so I can't play an ultimate 0 there to boost up like potentially lane 3 over what would be a Reckoness double. So it's actually a really tricky spot for me. Would be a good time to have the zero fight scenes, which, like I said in the previous video, are not in the deck, surprisingly. And I'll definitely talk about that more in the deck profile. But what I found in general is that a lot of the setups that you have don't super need zero fight. Like zero fight will help you get some of the setups more, but overall, like, you still have a lot of really good setups without it. And sometimes, especially in this meta with decks like Tika Blazar and Zeparion, people are fighting for lead really hard. You can't always get lead without overcommitting. So you're not going to have lead going into turn 2, going into turn 3. And if you don't have lead, that card's just sitting in your hand doing nothing. All right, so AkaGreymon's thinking real hard what to do here. He's in a bit of a tricky spot, right? The 2-3 on lane 2 is already winning, and if I level up to triple, the lane 1 is also losing. So he's got to have a bit of a power play here, or a bit of a defensive play to help him get out of it. So I'm going for 1 level up that gives basically, it should give an easy way out. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to set up for the next turn. I won't spoil it, but I am trying to set up a play here. If I make 2 lanes, then there's no way that I can lose here, because, I mean, technically I could lose maybe, but it would be very hard with the basic type. Ultraman 0 triple rare in lane 1 now. I can boost lane 2 up to 14,000, and there's no level 2s in Omega that can get up. They can beat 14,000 with a BP grade up. You'd have to go for a BP grade minus there, and then also hit a Reckiness. So the only real ways I lose this is if he plays that Reckiness in the first lane, and then he's able to Valgeness in lane, and plays a level 2 in lane 2, and then Valgenesses to get down below my thing. But then I'm actually going to be 9,000, so it also has to be a specific level 2 that's more than 9,000. So has way too much to come together to try to get me out of this turn. So I feel pretty safe. That's why I did that. So AkaGreymon, seeing that he's not going to lose, used Reckiness Armor to set up a Trigron, try to get more cards in hand. Pretty smart play there. So we're going to go into this all-important turn number 4. And this is where my setup goes. I'm planning to leave that lane 2 open because, like I said, I know that I'm not going to lose if I do this. Or it's very, very unlikely that I lose. So I'm willing to play a level 2 so that I can set up like 2/3 doubles hitting at the same time the next turn. And that's going to be really important because all of Zero's effects are on plays. So we really, really have to take advantage of this. So AkaGreymon is going for his plays. What is going to happen here? A double level up there. I haven't seen the Reckiness, so I kind of expect that to be the Reckiness. A level up on this one is going to get it close, at least in range of a Reckiness BP grade up. And then finally, triple, 2, 3, 4 triple. I've got my 2 level ups. Nothing changed about my plays for this one. And so with a double ultimate 0, it's kind of the classic mono 0 combo that has been around for a while. Both of these will BP grade up themselves to 18,000. So starting from lane 1, which is at the top of the screen, I've got 17,000, 12,000, 18,000, 18,000. And before AkaGreymon uses any effects, I'm already winning 4 lanes. So he's going to be able to flip one with one of these Reckiness boosts. So maybe he can boost up the level 4 to 20,000. And then he's going to be reliant on either hitting a Valgeness or a Reckiness off the top to survive this turn. And if he survives this turn, it's basically curtains for me because he's got lanes 3 and lanes 4 on lockdown, and I'm running out of cards in hand. You can see AkaGreymon's got a lot of cards, a lot of options left. And it's going to come down to this. The lottery deck strikes again. Just waiting for AkaGreymon to see things. So we can kind of go through it all. If any lane he boosts, he can actually, I mean, he's already winning, or he's not winning lane 4 because I'm 18,000, or will be 18,000, right? So any lane he boosts except for lane 4 is going to flip the lane in his favor, and he's still going to be losing 3. So if he does the level 4, then I'm winning 1, 2, 4. If he does level 2, I'm winning 1, 3, 4. if he does a level 1 and winning 2, 3, 4. So no matter which way you cut it, there's no differences. So he's just got to make a decision and then flip to see what Omega gives us, and I think we'll get to that pretty soon. Yeah. So level 4 is boosted by Reckiness. I double boost. It doesn't really change anything for me because I need lane 3 to boost the first one to 18,000. And here we go, 1, well, 2, 3. No Reckiness, no Valgeness, and that's going to be game. So I got a little lucky on this one, or AkaGreymon might have gotten a bit unlucky, not hitting what he needed to see in those matchups. So these are really, really close games. But you can see in this game, the games that I won, the games that went well for AkaGreymon, I just got dunked on. It was bad news. The games that I won were very close. It just came down to a top 4 flip in this game, which the Valgeness wasn't online for not having a triple. And in this game, AkaGreymon did much better to try to set up the Valgeness, open up more options. But it just wasn't. Let's go. Just wasn't on the top wasn't in the cards this time. We get a round 2 win in our Galaxy Cup, and we'll go to round 3 next. See you there.